Hi, I'm Alicia and welcome to my channel Papercraft Secrets. Today I'm sharing the instructions for how to create a chocolate box. This is a Christmas one made with Mintay Paper's Merry Little Christmas, but you can use any products that you have at home. To begin with, these instructions are available for free on my website at www.papercraftsecrets.com.au. It takes you through all the products that I'm using today. And it also gives you the instructions and measurements. I'm starting with the Mintay Merry Little Christmas 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper set. I'm using the chipboard here, which is ornaments. I'm using the 12 by 12 sticker sheet and another chippy called Borders and the Creativa white paint. These are all the products that I'm using to create this project. The first instruction is to paint your chipboard pieces with the Mintay Creativa paint. It's a good idea to put something down underneath your 12 by 12 chippy. I'm just using some old cardboard. You could use paper, anything that you really can just throw out if you want to. If your Mintay paint has been sitting for a little while, you may find that it has separated. If your paint has separated, you just need to give it a really good stir, and if it is needing a little bit more liquid, you can just add a drop of water. This helps it regain its consistency. So I gave mine a really good stir, and then I used a foam brush to paint my chippy 12 by 12. Because I'm painting in white, I'm going to paint the entire sheet because I can then paint over in another color down the track if I want to change my color. And the white is just a really good base color anyway for any project that you are creating. So I've completed that one now. And now I'm going to move on and paint my lace stencil. Now this lace stencil would also be really beneficial to use on cards or scrapbook layouts, but today I'm going to be using this on our chocolate envelope project. There's lots of different laces on this chippy, and you can choose whichever lace you like the best for your projects. Altogether, I am creating 6 of these envelopes, but today in this video, I'm only going to be creating 2. This idea was inspired by my crafting friend Deborah, who made a similar chocolate box. We're moving on now to selecting a 12 by 12 paper sheet from the Merry Little Christmas collection. And you can choose any of these papers from this collection. They're all very beautiful. Our first job is to trim our little barcode strip off our papers so that we have a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Scoring at 3 1/4, 4 inches, 8 inches, and 8 3/4 inches. So here we go. 3 1/4, 4, 8, and 8 3/4. Then you're going to turn your page the other way at a 90-degree angle, and we're going to score at 1 inch, 1 3/4, 10 1/4, and 11. 1 inch, 1 3/4, 10 1/4, and 11. If you print out the free instruction sheet, you'll have all of those instructions written down on your paper for you. All of the measurements are on the sheet. If I turn it over this way, you can see the lines a little bit clearer, and it's probably going to be easier easiest for you to understand where we're cutting. We're going to be removing the corners. You can see that there's two lines. We're cutting on the inside line. You can see here we've got the inside line and the inside line. It might be easier if I just get a pen and I just draw it. There we go. Inside line, inside line. The same here. Whoops. That section there. Inside, 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 inside. All right, so let's cut that now. So we're going on that inside line and then on the inside line. So there's two lines. Choose the inside line. Cutting all of this out. And our last corner. So you're cutting out all of those corners. They can all go in the bin. They're all scraps. Now you're going to fold on your score lines. So you've got two score lines on each of those flaps. Fold on both of them. There we go. And this is just enough room to fit a 180-gram chocolate bar. This one's, I think, 173, but the 180 fits as well. So just sort of around that size, that general size. A little bit of glue on the tabs and you're all done. The box is finished. My suggestion to you is to leave that box to dry before you embellish. I've found that on the ones that I didn't wait to dry with the glue, sort of lost their shape a little bit with the heaviness of the embellishments. So I would do all of the gluing and cutting and then let them to dry before you embellish. While we're waiting for that to dry, let's make our second box. So here we go again. We're scoring at 3 1/4, 4, 8 inches and 8 3/4. Turn it around and we're scoring at 1 inch, 1 3/4, 10 inches, 10 1/4 inches and 11 inches. Next of all, we're going to cut out those lines, our inside line. There's one corner done. One corner. Trimming. And our last corner all trimmed. Throw those little bits away and we are here to fold on our score lines to create our box. You can choose whichever side of the paper you like the best to be on the inside and the outside of your box. It's completely up to you. I'm going with the busier side for the outside. Again, you can choose whichever flap you want as well for your box. Place some glue on your little tab areas and glue that down. So it's a very, very simple, easy, quick, but really effective project. All right, and there's the 2 boxes made. And now we're up to embellishing our boxes. In order to embellish, we need to, first of all, remove our chipboard that we're going to be using. Now you can use a blade to help you remove your chipboard. I have found, however, that once the chipboard has been painted with the Creativa paint, it is much easier to remove without a blade. So see how you go and see whether you need the blade to carefully remove it from the baseboard. We will be trimming our chipboard down, and it'll be going on our box something like that. So that first piece I chose was a very wide piece, and I'm going to go with another wide piece from the very top section here, and I'm just pulling that out carefully so that I don't rip it. Our next step is to trim to size our lace piece, and you can just use scissors, like not your best fussy cutting scissors, but just any regular scissors. It's quite easy to trim with a pair of scissors. And we'll have one piece of lace per box. Just a little bit of glue along the lace, and then pasting that on. Okay, and a line of glue along this piece of lace, and pasting that on. It's sort of up to you as to where you want to position it. You may want to position it right at the edge of the paper flap, or you might want to have it a little bit higher. Doesn't really matter. Now we need to carefully remove our ornaments that we're going to use. I find, as I said before, with the painted chipboard, they're much easier to remove than when they are not painted. But you do have to be careful because you can easily tear them. So just take your time with that. I'm going to choose a star and a bauble shaped item for each of my boxes. If you don't have the Mintay 12x12 ornament chippy, you could use something else from your stash, like a die cut or a stamped image, or a fussy cut image. I've chosen some red ribbon, and I'm going to tie some red ribbon through each of these little pieces of chippy, and then I'm going to tie a bow so that we've got lots of beautiful red ribbon decorating our box. Once I have tied the ribbon through, I'm going to layer that with some red and white candy cane twine to really add to that Christmas feel. I'm also going to use some red ribbon going around the box next to the lace. And then I'm going to add my ornaments next to the ribbon. I'm adding some white lace, and I'm going to tie everything together with my red and white twine so it's all attached. I've also got some little red berries that I'm going to add to my ribbon. I'm going to glue 3 of these onto the top of my bow. I also have some white foliage or some white leaves that I'm going to add in as well, just to give a little bit more of a Christmas feel to my box. And if you have any gaps that you want to fill in, you can always tuck in a little bit more ribbon to just fill that up. Last of all, on my sticker sheet, I'm going to choose a sticker, and I'm simply gluing that onto one of my baubles. And that is my box decorated and complete. Moving on to my second box now, I decorated this in the same way. Some red ribbon going next to the white lace chippy. I managed to tie it with my red ribbon this time, so you can sort of play around with that as to how that feels for you. Adding in some of my pretty white lace and my pretty red and white candy cane twine. And then, of course, adding in my sticker onto the bauble there, just with a little bit of glue to make sure that it stays firmly. Some green and white foliage and my 3 little berries for the center of my ribbon. And that is my completed project. You can see how the chocolate slides in. You could also add some money to the envelope, which is what I'm going to be doing for my nieces and nephews for Christmas this year. I usually give them chocolate and money. And this is just a lovely way to give somebody a gift at Christmas time. So I hope you enjoyed our project today. Make sure you head on over to my website at www.papercraftsecrets.com.au and you can print off your free instruction sheet that has all of the measurements so that you can create this project at home yourself. Perfect for putting under the tree this year or giving to neighbours or family and friends. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Please make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and I hope you have a lovely crafty day.